All right, welcome St. Genevieve Dragons fans to Yank Stadium as we bring you the 2016 Valley St. Genevieve 5th Annual Opening Day Tournament. This is the third game of the night here at Yanks Field, as there's games going on at 4 different locations.
Yes.
Perryville, Valley, R7, Jefferson R7 and here. And so we're going to bring you the last game of the night. It has the St. Genevieve Dragons versus the Chesterfield Yellow Jackets. A little bit raining, not too bad. Decent crowd, I think, for the weather, don't you think, Mark?
I think so.
Oh,
40 degrees?
Yeah, 40 degrees. That's not good for baseball.
No. Of course, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Opening day of baseball in high school, and here we're all bundled up and ready for action.
Especially since it was, 70 degrees for most of the week?
Yes.
So, but by the way, I'm Rob Coleman, and next to me is Dennis Kreitler, better known as Monk, and we will be bringing the game to you tonight.
And Rob, St. Genevieve lost a tough one a while ago, 3-2 to Scott City, who just played a 10-inning ball game against these Chester Yellow Jackets and won 3-2 also. So Scott City looking pretty good so far, 2-0 in this tournament. Yeah,
it was exciting games. A little bit slow early on, not a lot of runs, but sometimes that's better baseball. To watch the pitching duels, defense. And I believe the last game was won in the 10th inning, you said?
10th inning.
10th inning, and it was on an air. Been some close games. Hopefully that maybe we'll see another close one here, but hopefully the Dragons come out on top.
That's right.
If you look out, you'll see the Dragons are warming up. The Yellow Jackets probably won't need to since they just played. So St. Genevieve taking some time to warm up.
Looks like our umpires for tonight, Hank Kinski behind the plate, and Art Armbruster is going to be the field umpire.
They're having a meeting at the home plate with the coaches. Coach Mike McDaniel for the Dragons. He's assisted by Mark Gibson, and the coach of the Yellow Jackets is Coach Jeremy Bleckley. Hopefully I said that correct. We do have the starting lineup of your Dragons. We do not have it for the Yellow Jackets, but we'll be penciling them in as we see them. So, Monk, do you want to run down the starting lineup for the Dragons?
You bet. Leading off for the Dragons is number 25, Wyatt Lamandier. He's going to be playing center field. Batting second is number 3, Grant Staffen, and playing second base. Doing the catching tonight, Dalton Giesler, number 9. And in the cleanup spot, Waylon Kemper. He's playing third base. And the pitcher for the St. Genevieve Dragons tonight and batting 5th is Andrew Toombs. And Daniel Vaith gets the start for first base and batting 7th. Batting 8th, Brady Bullier in right field. Derek Morgenthaler, number 42, playing center field. And the designated hitter is Brian Selby, number 17. He'll be batting for Brandon Henson, who's playing shortstop.
You will hear in the background the voice of the Dragons tonight, Clayton Geck, who will be calling the game. He's going through the lineups also. One thing you notice about the Dragons lineup is a little bit of youth that they have coming in.
Oh, definitely.
I believe there's 3 freshmen that are starting, and then a sophomore. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure there's not one senior that starts for the Dragons.
Interesting.
So hopefully they grow as the season goes on. So you might have a little rough beginning here, but bodes well for the future.
And I think these early games here, it's trying to fill out who can play where. I mean, you've had a limited amount of time for practices with the weather being in the spring as it is. Sometimes you're not always outside. You're inside in the gym and cages, and until the season gets started and you're playing games, teams got to find who can do what.
Yeah, I totally agree, especially looking like they got some young players that are on the roster and really not being able to see what they have done if they're freshmen coming in. You know, you get an idea of what your sophomores and your juniors or so forth did last year, but for these new guys, it's probably the first time you've seen them unless you kind of watched them in the summer if you're a coach. So just like you said, and also the pitching. You know, pitching is one of those things where you probably haven't got a lot of live pitching yet in practice, and get guys on the mound. I know that the first game we started off with Wyatt Lomadier. He pitched about 3 innings, and then Vaith, I think, finished off the last 3 innings. So maybe you'll see coaches probably early on in the season shorten up the pitchers' innings instead of letting them go long until they're in better shape.
Definitely. I would say that they're probably on a pitch count, maybe anywhere from 50 to 60, maybe even going 70, depending on, how they're feeling.
Now, you being the softball coach, a little different when it comes to pitching between baseball and softball.
Definitely. We can roll a pitcher out there every day and just let them go and not really worry about it. Different arm motion with the windmill pitching. It's not as stressful on a body. So if they do it correctly and have a good technique, then, it's nothing for girls to go out there and pitch, 20 more games,
wow.
And day after day. I mean, Megan Hook pitched for us, 20 games last year, and she's a little sore.
Yeah, well, you do any move, well, especially me now, and at our age, I'm not sure I could throw underhand that much, but quite interesting I think to see the difference between a baseball and softball being able to do that.
And if we have a brand new turf field here, I think that's going to bode well for everybody in the community here.
Yeah, it's looks really nice. I mean, with the turf, they made some upgrades, to the dugouts. If you guys can see those, that they sit in a little bit lower. So everything I think looks nice. New pitching mounds. The batting cage isn't up yet down the far right side here, but the pitching mounds on the side are real nice. The players don't have to be out in the field with someone covering their back. And so just great facilities, like most of our facilities around St. Genevieve. The campus is really well. You're getting a new softball. We're doing the same thing to the softball field, so that'll be nice for those girls too.
Yep, looks like we're starting here. Wyatt Lomadier in for the Dragons, takes a ball low. Pitching for the Yellow Jackets, looks like it's number 11, Christian Mitchell, senior.
Mitchell coming in from the lefty.
2 balls, no strikes.
Wyatt was a leadoff batter last year as a sophomore for the Dragons.
And a strike down the middle, makes count 2-1.
Talked about the turf. Wonder if, different hops. Guess we'll kind of see.
Just like that one, hopped right in. I seen that a little bit last game. I think it's going to be new for all players. You would think it would be nice and simple, but everybody's got to adjust to something different. Here we got a little bit of rain that's fallen throughout, so it makes it a little bit slicker. Ball's going to come over there with a hop sometimes that you're just not used to.
Yeah, you would think, like you said, it makes it simpler. If I'm guessing at what you mean is, when you have a dirt or a real grass, you may hit lumps and things. The ball could go really left or right at any time. A big bounce, small bounce. You're probably going to get the same bounce normally each time with the surface being the same.
Wyatt with a good eye, leadoff walk. As Mitchell is kind of struggling with location a little bit, throwing the ball down. Bunt that's popped up behind the catcher, makes a play for the first out, and Lomadier back to first.
Yeah.
So we have a bunt going on. The second batter trying to move the runner over.
Yeah, that was Grant Staffen, number 3, and and you really like to get that down. You know, you got Wyatt Lomander some speed. You get him to second base with one out, you have a good chance of scoring.
Dalton Giesler coming up. Takes the ball low.
Again, we have Mitchell with a little bit of control problems here, throwing a lot of pitches low. Wyatt Lomander gets his lead at first. Mitchell strides, throws it in there for a strike. You might like to see Wyatt here maybe take a chance, but with a lefty, you usually don't get as big as lead as usual. Crowd pretty quiet so far.
Oh,
pops one foul over our head.
Thought you had that one, Rob.
Yeah, a little bit taller maybe. I heard
the crowd oohs and ahs.
That could have been my truck. I parked in the first spot right here because usually they don't hit the close ones, you know. So I usually pull right up here as close as I can get.
That's one way of thinking about it. I tend to park the farthest away.
As Dalton fouls off that one, still has a count 2-2. One out, Wyatt Lomander on first. Giesler's looking at the signs from Coach McDaniel at third. Mitchell comes set. The pitch. And another foul.
Good at bat here by Dalton. Taking some good cuts. See a hitter like that fouling pitches off. I think eventually he's going to put the ball in play and square one up really well.
Ooh, close one. A little bit low. Outside.
Low.
Makes the count go 3-2. Do you see Wyatt maybe trying to take off here?
It's kind of crossed my mind.
Thinking he's going to get a good pitch or at least a walk.
Oh.
And they check on him. Pitcher had the same thought we did.
Looked like he was leaning a little bit, but he regained himself and was able to get back with no problem.
Mitchell strides again. Lomander goes. So tad bit fly. He's going to have to get back because that's foul and catch. And they doubled him up. Oh, no, it called him safe.
Called him safe.
It was close. Good hustle by Wyatt Lomander to get back. Oh, and it overturns it. You know if that was
I'm not sure who asked for it. I'm sure it was a coach on the Yellow Jackets that asked for an appeal, a verbal appeal.
I wonder why you have that on that kind of play. I mean, the other umpire had good position. He was there.
He did.
You know,
it seemed like he did. Just a different angle.
You know, you think they would talk about it, maybe come together first before you just overturn him. But all right, as we head into the bottom of the first, the Dragons get one on with a walk, but not able to get anything with that going. So the Yellow Jackets will come to bat in the bottom of the first. They will face number 29, sophomore Drew Toombs, who will be on the mound. Looks like the leadoff batter may be number 4, Jason Schwartz, a senior for the Yellow Jackets. I apologize if I keep sniffing into the microphone. I'm a little congested. A lot of people I think are going through some coughs and colds with the weather being the way it is.
I think everybody tonight's going to be doing a little sniffling. Speaking of the Yellow Jackets here, Rob, we kind of talked about this here at the beginning of the game. The Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, but can they see what color?
I know.
Can you, at home, can you see the color? Can anybody, wait, sorry, kick the camera. How about this? If we have people there, can they text either myself, Mr. Toombs, or Monk? The first one to answer will get a prize of why do we think it's interesting they're called the Yellow Jackets. Toombs, we have something we can give away?
Sure, I'm sure you've got
Hot dog.
Free hot dog.
Free
We
hot
have to come
dog. You
get it,
have to
though.
come up here to get it.
Well, then that ain't
Or
gonna
maybe we
work.
can reserve it. We can.
We could save it, take it
Yes.
delivery, maybe depends on where they live. We'll get you something. Anybody that can text or call, one of us three, give us a reason why we think it's interesting. They're called the Yellow Jackets.
I think that's a good way to start off.
So we do have number 4, Jason Schwartz, coming to be the leadoff for the Yellow Jackets. Toombs looks in, gets his sign, comes set, lifts the leg, strides, a tad bit outside. Comes set again, strides, and a foul tip
Foul
back
back.
over the head. We'll get another car. Oh,
No.
sounded like pavement.
Wind seems to be blowing in tonight. The outfielders, as I look around, not very deep.
Oh, a hit right to the right fielder. Is that Brady Boyer with the little shoestring catch? Looks like he almost
We may have a
misjudged it.
winner.
We got one already?
We may have a winner. I
What do
have
we
a
got?
text from Mary Kay Kreitler that the Yellow Jackets are yellow, they're the colors because they're not wearing yellow.
There you go. They have orange on.
They have orange.
Good call.
Oh,
Nice job,
Dana Bowen,
Mary
you
Kay.
were just a little bit too late.
Do we have the first loser? I mean, the second place prize? Maybe we should have an interview at, 7th inning stretch or after the game. Ask our coach that. You think he would?
I think so.
Or maybe can we find the administrator that's supposed to be here?
Mr. Mercer.
I meant, yeah.
Oh,
There's
that's a
another
long
drive down
drive.
the right.
To right field. One hopper off the wall. Brady Boyer throws it in.
Good relay.
Good relay,
Yes,
yes.
very good relay.
Held him to a double.
One hopper off the wall. That was
And that didn't look like it was that much off the bat, but it seemed to just take off.
Yeah.
When it went over the infield.
Yeah, that was number 10, Austin Welge with the hit. Now coming to bat is number 25, Jordan Berner, in senior. Yeah, it was just a line drive, not much air. It was just kind of shot over his head.
To keep up with my scoring here.
So now we got a runner on second. One out. The Yellow Jackets are threatening. Toombs strides out, brings in a little curveball, but high and away.
21, Devin Strait. Freshman. Pretty good size.
Is that 21? Is it
25.
Yeah, it's
Jordan
25.
Berner, senior.
As he
Well,
takes another
big
ball.
difference there.
Yeah. It's a big freshman. Takes the lead at second. Toombs brings it. Foul tip. Good pitch. Went right at him. Brings it to a 2-1 count. As our coach trying to tell him to go with the pitch. Trying to get it maybe back to right field. To the right side. Welge with the leadoff. And a
Nice
swing and a
pitch.
miss by number 25, Jordan Berner. 2-2 the count. One out. Be good if Toombs can get him here, or at least get a good ground ball to keep the runner at second. Nice
Oh.
curveball, ground ball to third. Looks him back. Nice throw over. They get one, but still able to move the run over. Good job by Kemper. Try to
Just-
look him back.
That was a safe play. I think there could have been a play maybe to get him in a rundown. It looked
Yeah.
like the runner was went a little bit farther than he should have.
I kind of thought that too, but like you said, safe play. Get the for sure
Now
out.
we got 2 outs. You get this batter right here, and you're out of the inning. No harm done.
Coming to bat, number 13, Luke Hartman, another senior.
That's it.
Be senior heavy Yellow Jackets. As he takes strike one. It's a good way to get ahead. Now we got Welch is on third, takes a lead. Another pitch, strike 2, as he fouls that one straight back to the screen. So Toombs now 0-2. So now you can make him swing at your pitch. Welch walks down the line. So pitch, tad bit outside. Good stop by Dalton Giesler.
That saved a run.
Yeah, you talked about the bounces. Same thing for the catcher. I mean,
And, you know, they got to get used to it too. You would think it's easy, but sometimes it's
that
not.
one's fouled off to the right side. Just over the soon-to-be batting cage. Rolling down all the way to the railroad tracks.
It'll be a long walk for some
Yeah.
unlucky yellow jacket.
Yeah, that looked like number 30. He's running after it. So again, 1-2. Toombs brings it home.
Ooh,
Tad bit high.
that's a good miss.
Really good. Probably would have fouled it off. It was a little high and away. Good pitch to Wace. Now it's 2-2. You want to come to him. Foul ball again over to the right side.
See a lot of foul balls.
Yeah.
That, you know, with an early season like that, I think that's what you're going to see a lot.
A little slow swing. Could be Toombs just bringing the heat. You know, I mean, can't catch up to him. Got the defense playing him straight away. Brings the curve. Kemper stays down on it. Throws across and got him.
Yes.
So the Yellow Jackets strand one as they get a double out of Welch, but can't bring him in. So we'll go to the top of the second, and the Dragons will lead off with
Waylon Kemper.
Waylon Kemper.
Waylon Kemper, Andrew Toombs, and Daniel Vaith.
The meat of the lineup coming up. As the crowd seems to take a break here, use the restroom, maybe going to get some hot chocolate. Everybody's moving a little bit. As they uncover
You see a lot of people in blankets, that's
blankets,
for sure.
hoodies,
You know, me and you are standing up, and we're just kind of walking back and
Yeah.
forth a little bit as we have just a little bit of room in our perch
yeah,
press box.
it's a kind of plastic.
That
over
everything
here.
has kind of been redone here in the concession stands, and it looks nice.
It does. Looks real nice. I didn't really come. I never drove by once to see any of the construction. I don't know why. I just never did. So I've really just seen two pictures, the way it was and the way it is now. And it is such a big difference. I think the turf obviously looks nice because it's always going to be green and the dirt's going to look good. Well, the colored turf. But I think the dugouts and the black fencing and the mounds, the pitching mounds, where they warm up, I think that's kind of the coolest part. I think that really makes the field. You know, if you'd have left it where they had to go out in the outfield or go outside and pitch in the grass on the outside, the dirt, and the dugouts would have stayed the same. You would have had this nice turf in the middle of old fencing and everything else. And so
That and this is still in my view of things, and I've been to a lot of the baseball fields around, but as far as a setting place with the hillside, I mean it's just a nice setting.
it is. It's very nice.
You can sit on top of the hillside with a lawn chair and take that view that's over the dugouts that are now kind of semi-sunken down.
Yeah, not really anybody up there tonight.
No.
The weather, but when it's a nice sunny day at 4:30, and it's usually packed up there on that hill. So Waylon Kemper, number 1, comes to the bat. He's taken 2 straight balls from Mitchell. Foul ball right at us. It's a good thing that net was there.
And that's another thing with the netting, the way everything is constructed here behind the plate just makes it just a nice view.
Covered
The backstops used to be a little bit higher and bigger, and now they're lower to where anybody can, just easily see everything.
The bleachers are covered, so like tonight where it's a little bit of a drizzle, they're not getting any of that. You don't see that in a whole lot of places.
Can't really ask for more except for a dome here.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can get that, Dr. Lindsay?
That one, Kipper swings through strike 3 as the Yellow Jackets try to throw it around, but throw it over the third baseman's head. Coming to bat now, the pitcher, number 29, Drew Toombs. See if he can't help himself out here and get things going here in the top of the second inning.
I think on a night like tonight, put the ball in play more times than not. With the weather being it is,
Cold, wet.
Cold. Later here, we're getting close to the 9 o'clock hour. We're not used to playing baseball yet.
People
got a good
falling
chance
asleep.
of infielders falling asleep.
I told Coach Gibson I would check on him every so often to see if he was still awake over there. It's, with his ripe young age, he doesn't usually stay up this late, I think.
I'm right with him. Friday nights are usually my downtime. I'm usually at home in bed.
A shot to right field.
That could carry.
For Toombs.
Looks like fair.
Ooh.
No.
Good shot off the bat, though. That'll bring the count to 2-1.
I know.
As Clayton Geck was a little behind over there. We'll try to make sure he keeps the scoreboard up to date.
I just can't keep anything dry here.
Yeah. Just enough drizzle to make it wet and not enough to make us go inside. Mitchell strides, pitches again, a tad bit high and in. Brings the count to 3-1. I think, or maybe 2-1. 3-1.
Good count here to load up and sit on one. Had good load up. He was waiting for something. And he got it.
That'll send Toombs to first. So we've got a runner on first. 1 out. Daniel Vaith coming to bat. He's a lefty. We'll have a pinch runner for Toombs since he's the pitcher. And that will be number 26, Camden Rowe. Camden's a sophomore. He's got some speed. Pretty much probably what he'll be used for a lot is pinch running for the pitchers and catchers this year on varsity. And we'll see what Coach McDaniel has up his sleeves if he gives the signs.
Left-hander Daniel Vaith steps in. Tall kid.
Second baseman looks like he's over in the cover as he's closer to second. So big gap here for Vaith if he could pull it between first and second.
Now that you mentioned that, with a left-handed batter here, and the second baseman is playing towards second base,
Yeah.
you would not normally do that with a left-handed batter up. You'd want the shortstop maybe to kind of come up to middle and take that throw down to second if there's a steal.
Yeah, I agree.
Looks like they're just
you got the first baseman that's going to be holding, so he's not going to be off as far.
a lot of room.
Vaith looks at strike 1. Brings the count to 1-1. Christian Mitchell looks in, gets the signs. Looks at the runner at first. Lifts the leg and goes home. And a ground ball there's to the second baseman. He was so far over. Is he going to be able to get him at first? Got him.
Yes.
See, again, he was so far up towards second base, that slow roller. Vaith would have had a little more speed. He probably would have beat it out.
And really, that was the only play to be made.
So now we got 2 outs. Rowe on second now. Freshman number 30, Brady Boyer, coming to bat. He twists to the bat. Digs into the turf. High stance. Mitchell looks back at Rowe, lifts the leg, comes home. Strike 1. again, second baseman now is holding. So still a bit of a gap here to the right side. And Boyer's way out in front on that one.
And it may be because maybe the second baseman for the Yellow Jackets, he could be the primary fielder, somebody in charge that they want to get the ball in their hands to.
Yeah. Brady tips that one off to stay alive. So it'll bring 0-2.
Background, we got a little train movement.
I hear the train a-coming.
One of the,
rolling around
when you come up to the Yanks field, eventually you're going to hear a big crash and boom, and people will jump to the high heavens.
Unless you're from here, because then you just, it's like,
True.
It's another day.
It catches me off guard every once in a while.
It's kind of like the blasting from Chemical Lime when I first moved here. I didn't know what was going on. No one else moves. No one, you just get used to it. As Brady chases a high third strike. So the Dragons leave another runner on. So with no run scored, they've left 2 on so far in 2 innings. As we go to the bottom second, the Yellow Jackets will come to bat.
Slow start offensively.
Yes.
1 hit in the game, a couple of walks.
The Dragons had 3 hits in their first game, both by Derek Morgenthaler, who hasn't made it to bat yet.
And on a new turf like this, you would think that the ball might, when it's hit, to move a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not the case on turf. Kind of slows down. It's kind of like a thick, grassy infield that the ball just seems to die a lot.
Well, I haven't been out on it, but the players have talked about, that they've been on the football field at times doing ground balls before, and it really skims off there. But they seem to think this is a little bit different than what the football field is made out of. So
I think the football field, it's probably in its 8th, 9th year.
Yeah, so
it's matted down. I've hit ground balls off the football field myself, and I feel the same way. It's fast. The baseball fields, the way they make them now, that they make them, kind of thick to where they simulate a nice, plushy, high, tall grass, and it slows it down.
So do you think that after 8 or 9, 10 years that this will be the kind of the same thing, or is it again made differently that it should stay?
I think the baseball fields are supposed to be made a little bit higher, and it just makes sense too, because you're hitting a ball that 70, 80 miles an hour off the bat, and it's aluminum. I think you do want it to slow down. It's just a safety factor.
So Toombs has got 2 strikes. Got way ahead here against number 11 is Christian Mitchell. He brings in the third pitch, curveball, breaks him. Nice pitch by Drew Toombs. Had him guessing, out in front. That's what we need, quick innings. 3 pitches and out. Something that, watching Drew, as he's grown as a pitcher, is one thing he hasn't done a lot is he gets a ground ball to first, easy play by base, touches the bag for 2 outs. Watching Toombs grow up, he's always been a great pitcher, but he's really thrown a lot of pitches when he's pitched. Sometimes maybe tries to paint too many corners or things like that. So, it's good to see him get ahead. So we got 2 outs here. Toombs rings again, starts with the curveball, a little bit outside. Batting for the Yellow Jackets, number 27, Blake Egenmeyer. Toombs gets the sign, comes set, lifts the leg. Strike on the outside corner. 1-1's the count. Quick inning here would be good. Get momentum going back in the Dragons' favor. As he comes home, tad bit high. 2-1 the count. All the Dragons moving on the pitch. Strike.
Nice.
2-2. as he evens the count on another pitch right on the outside corner. Dragons playing Eggenmeyer straight ahead. No, brings one in the dirt, trying to get him to chase. Brings it to a full count. With a little bit of a mist, you wonder how wet the ball is getting. You know, like the turf's got to be wet.
I'm sure.
Foul.
Good pitch.
Straight back.
I would think with the wet turf, and especially in the outfield where it's natural grass, we'll probably change the balls quite a bit just to get a better grip on the ball.
Strike three as he's frozen
outside
him.
corner.
3 great outside corner pitches, and he sets down the side. 1, 2, 3. As we go into the top of the third.
That was a very good inning.
Yes, it was short and sweet, the way you like it. You talked about the outfield grass being real grass. I haven't been out there. I don't know if you have. Is there much of or do you think there's much of a lip, you know, a drop off or a raise from the turf to the grass? You think that's something tough for maybe infielders who are running backwards for a pop fly? Or to me, it could be a little bit of a difference because you have 2 different surfaces.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a raise on it, but it's just because of the grass, the real grass just being high. You know, I don't think there's really a lip, so to say, of the dirt to where anybody's really going to trip over it. And again, it's just something that players are just going to have to get used to.
Well, I guess when you think about it, it's no difference between a dirt infield going to a grass outfield. I mean, there's still that difference.
We've been to a lot of fields where it's really bad.
Yeah.
To where the dirt is just kind of bowled out over time as people dragging it, working it up, that, you know, right where you get to the edge of the grass, that you have a little bit of a lip.
Very good point. You're full of good points tonight, Monk. You must know something about baseball.
A little bit.
Been around it a lot.
A little bit. Change of subject, though. Yeah, you just got done with basketball.
Oh,
I heard you a while ago. You were listening to the Vashon Sykeston game.
Yes.
So you're still thinking about that a little bit. Your take here on your basketball season?
Well, obviously, you know, we did win the first district championship, and so by those means, it was a great season. And even if we wouldn't have won it, you know, I thought we had a great season all season long. I mean, the kids were great, and so. You know, it's kind of tough to be over. Like you said, I'm still listening to Sykeston and kind of rooting for them since they beat us, but they ended up losing to a very good Vashon team. And I guess probably just like you, when it comes to softball, you probably follow it some way or other. You're watching films or tapes or coaching clinics and just thinking in your mind, you know, about your lineup and stuff, even during the off season. So. You know, it's just kind of what I love to do, and it was a great season. I mean, you know, I look forward to, if I could, I'd probably start over maybe in a month. Maybe not right now, but I would like a little break. But
it seems to come around sooner than
it does.
You know, I mean, you know, we ended our season. We're a fall sport for softball, and we end in October, and you know we don't do anything until Christmas time, and then after Christmas we start doing some conditioning, and you know, we're getting the ball rolling, and it's going to be here before you know it.
Yeah.
We'll be in the summer playing summer ball, and
I don't think, well, probably most people do these days, just because it is. I mean, you almost have to do it, not year round, but you know, you have to have a lot of time doing whatever sport it is. And like you talked about, you're going to be playing summer ball. We're going to do the same thing. You know, we'll take a month off here and turn around and start working out again and getting in the gym and shooting. And so I think some parents are like, geez, you know, that's a lot. But unfortunately, if you don't do it, then you're behind.
Exactly.
And that goes with any sport, you know, baseball, football. You know, you just got to constantly work to make yourself a better athlete, you know, because a lot of these athletes that we have at a smaller school have to play multiple sports, and you want them to. I think it's a good thing to do that. I see the guys that only play one sport sometimes get into injury because they're doing the same things over and over, where if they're playing multiple sports, they get into different movements, and so I think it's really good for them. But so the kids have a lot on their plate, but as coaches, it's something we have to push if we want to be successful.
Absolutely. There's a shot out the right center. And over his head.
Selby looks around second, and he's going to hold up. So we got a double for Selby, who's the DHing for the Dragons.
That's a one-out double as Derek Morgenthaler, who tapped to the shortstop for the first out. Morgenthaler had 2 hits in the first game.
Making contact.
Making good contact. A lot of lefties here.
Yeah.
Brings us up to the top of the order, Wyatt Lamondier, who walked his first at bat.
He takes a pitch in the dirt. Should we say dirt or turf?
I think you can say dirt.
Exactly, say dirt, okay. I want to be, was it politically correct? I do want to say one more thing about basketball, and that's, just to our fans and our administration and school and everything else, is Wyatt Lamondier lays a really good bunt down the right.
Oh, it's going to go foul.
And it rolls just foul. He had that beat out.
That was a sneaky bunt.
Yes.
That
really.
Was one of those late minute, late second drag to the first base side. And that couldn't have, if it was stayed fair, there's really no play at all. But continue on, Rob.
I just want to say how great it was. I mean, it was good for our kids and our program, but our school and everybody, and how supportive they were, because, it's exciting for me to be able to be a part of the first one ever. But at the same time, I look at other sports who have done it over and over, and I'm thinking, hey, we haven't done anything other sports haven't. So, it was just great for everybody to be supportive and excited about what we have done. So.
Had a great group of kids, too.
Mm-hmm. So Wyatt Lamondier
put in a lot of work,
a
lot of time, and, those things like that on a district win, you got to feel really good. It pays off.
Yeah, it shows the kids it's worth it, because sometimes, our kids, not the years before, they haven't been working hard. They have. So it's just good to finally, I had past players say, hey, it's great to see, it finally happened, that the work that these guys put in, because they did the same thing. It just didn't happen, to win that district championship. And then, Trevor Drury's already asked me, Coach, we have an open gym Sunday? And I'm like, no, Trevor.
You got to love that.
Yeah, so it's good to hear, because I think because of success, success breeds success, he's ready to get right back at it and do it again for next year. So. All right, so we do have one out here with a runner on second. Selby with this double off the right fielder's glove. Wyatt Lamondier, 2-2 count. Fouls another one off to the left side.
Wyatt's getting some pretty good looks at the pitches here. Look for him to make some good contact here if something's to his liking.
Yeah, Mitchell brings one right down the middle.
Kind of liking that right center gap myself as the center fielder. Looks like he's playing shallow.
Yeah, he is. They might be thinking leadoff batter. Not much pop, but Wyatt definitely has some pop in his bat. Could burn that center fielder. And with his speed on some turf, could really get going.
That could be a triple.
Tad bit high as he takes a wall. So
2 walks for Wyatt.
That's what you want out of your leadoff batter. It's great to have a leadoff batter can hit. Matt Carpenter comes to mind, but the key is to get on base, right?
Exactly. First and second here, 1 out. Grant Staffen
tried to bunt the last time up.
Popped out to the catcher.
Takes it high. You think, okay, do you try the bunt again to move the runners over? But, Mitchell's been on a little wild. Got a small target, as Stevens points out, with Staffen. So I think you make him pitch to you.
Yeah. I think with 1 out, you bunt here, you're giving another out up, and you got 2 outs. So I think the smart move here is to go ahead and hit, put the ball in play, and let things roll from there.
1-1 count for Staffen.
Normally at the beginning of a baseball game here, you would probably bunt with no outs. Oh,
He
there,
chases
there it is,
one
a
up, but
base
there
hit.
it is, up the middle. As the center
Send-
fielder
he's
picks it
sending
up,
him.
and he's holding
Oh, he
him.
fell.
Oh, Wyatt's running into the out as he
This could
thought
be
Selby was
interesting.
going to keep going, and
No
he gets back
play.
to second. So Coach McDaniel holds up Selby, probably a good choice. The center fielder was picking it up as Selby was coming to third base and on it, and Wyatt, I guess, just assumed that he would be going and really didn't pick up.
Well, what had
Coach
happened
McDaniel.
is Coach McDaniel was waving Selby home. Selby tripped
Oh.
and slipped over third
Didn't see
base, had to retreat.
Did not see that.
Wyatt thought, you know,
So,
he's going to third. It all could have worked.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we have bases loaded, one out.
Dalton Giesler up to bat. Put something in play, get it to the outfield, you at least get one run. Does he take strike one?
Dalton popped out to the first baseman in the first inning.
A little bit of action here in the top of the third inning for the Dragons. The Yellow Jackets find themselves in a tough situation.
Yellow Jackets are in kind of double play depth. They're not in, which is kind of typical, again, at the beginning of the game.
Yeah. One run, you know,
You know.
easy to come back. Not easy, but feasible.
Mitchell has still kind of struggled with his control. He's pitched a lot of pitches.
Yeah. The catcher went out to settle him down a little bit as that last pitch was way high. Again, one out, bases loaded. The first baseman is playing in front of the bag as that pitch is outside and high again. Ball two.
The rain comes blowing
Yeah.
down again.
Picking up a little bit as the crowd hides under some blankets. Mitchell pitches inside. Oh, calls that a strike. Looked a little inside and low, but from my angle, but I'm not going to second guess the guy that's standing right behind the plate. It's not my job. So the count is 2-2. He winds, he pitches. Dalton gets
Oh,
under
he
that one,
golfed it.
drops it into left field. That'll score two with Wyatt speed as he comes into home. And that's two RBIs for Dalton Giesler as Selby and Lamadier come to score. Staffen moves to second, and Giesler's on first. Great piece of hitting by Giesler. The ball was a little bit low, dipped enough, but got the bat underneath it, dropped it in the left field.
You got that right. Boy, the swing that he took and the way the ball popped off the bat, it just didn't look right from our angle.
No.
And I was kind of surprised to see it. Nice line drive right over the shortstop's head. I think the left fielder, you know, with the way the rain's coming down to try to throw home.
Yeah.
You know, you could overthrow. You could open up a really big inning.
Well, you know, I don't know. They probably don't know Wyatt speed, you know, being from Illinois, not a conference team that might already know him. But with his speed, there was a pretty good chance he was going to score. We do have a running. Mitchell Huffstetter is going to run for Dalton Giesler. So he goes to pinch run at first base.
Waylon Kemper comes to bat. Waylon struck out back in the second inning.
The Yellow Jackets coach went out to talk to Mitchell, again to calm him down a little bit. 2 runs, still, again, close. So if the Yellow Jackets can get out of this with only giving up 2 runs, it wouldn't be such a bad thing. The Dragons have first and second. The first baseman is way up in front.
Kind of creeping.
I don't know if he's
Good
worried about
swing.
a bunt or as Kemper swings through. I mean, I guess unless he's going to go to third if they hit it to him, the first baseman. I don't know why you wouldn't play it. Some more of a double play depth.
Yeah, that would seem kind of risky to me.
I don't know. I'm not.
It looks like the second baseman's kind of coming in.
Ground ball, second base. Turning two, flips to the shortstop, out at first. Good play by the Yellow Jackets to turn two to end the inning. So the Dragons get on the board with 2 runs by a single, two RBI single by Dalton Giesler. And that's just what we need to get on top.
That was a good play by the second baseman. You know, he had an option maybe to tag the runner, but instead kind of did it off balance, flipped back to the shortstop, and it all worked out well.
Yeah, well played. Well played. As the Yellow Jackets look like they're getting the bullpen, some movement in the bullpen over here. I couldn't think of that, bullpen. I kept talking about where they warm up the pitchers. You never fix me on that. Couldn't think of that word. The bullpens look nice, as they are also turf.
And you know, you look at the bullpens that are set up here. It's a double wide bullpen where 2 pitchers can throw. Yeah. They're kind of raised up to a mound height to where the pitcher raises up. It's a concrete bed with the turf that's on top. It's a really nice setup.
Yeah.
The rain is starting to pick up a little bit more here as we go.
Now, do you think because of the turf, you could probably play a little bit longer in these situations than if you would? Because, you know, I mean, it's one thing to the ball getting wet, but when you have dirt, a lot of dirt, and the mound's getting muddy, and the batter's box gets muddy, you know, might especially at a slow rain like this, where
definitely
it's not enough to take you out of it, but it will get the dirt will get muddy even at a slow paced rain as time goes on.
Exactly, especially on the pitching mound, where you might need some dry right to throw down. Batter's box get tacky and sliding. It's kind of interesting with the opening day here, and we got a little bit of rain in play, and we have a turf field here. Number 20 up for the Yellow Jackets, Jack Weir. Fouls a pitch to the right. One count as Drew Toombs kicks and fires. Another foul ball.
Drew's third inning of work. Had a really good quick second inning. Be nice to repeat that. Curveball gets him out in front, barely.
I tell you what, he's getting that curveball in at the right time. You know, it's around the plate where batters have to swing at it, and they're really I haven't seen anybody get a good swing off of it.
The speed is so much slower than his fastball. I mean, and it's really keeping him off balance.
It's detectable here. I can kind of tell the way his arm angle is up here. I'm not sure how that is against the batter on what they see on the arm angle.
Yeah.
But you can definitely tell up here that he's throwing something different than the number one. A lot of ball changes.
Full count here. Toombs comes set, lifts the leg, and home. Another foul ball off to the right. Hope they're getting all those back. We're going to lose a lot of balls.
Administrator Jeff Nix checking in with us. Lead off walk.
A little bit outside. As number 20, Jack Weir takes a walk.
That brings in number 51.
Big number.
That's down in the list. Austin Carpenter.
He
You're
takes
just talking about a Carpenter a while ago.
He takes ball one.
The Yellow Jackets with a Carpenter.
Hopefully he's not anything like the other one.
Down a little bit lower in the order.
Weir takes a little lead off first. Ball two from Toombs. And again, you start to worry about the rain and the wet on the ball for control for these pitchers. Short lead at first. Toombs comes home. Tad bit outside. He's not wild. He's just a little bit outside.
Right.
You know.
And, you know, through the first couple innings here, he was really pumping the strike zone and being really close. And you just hope he doesn't get out of that rhythm.
There's a strike right down
the pipe.
3-1. And I think you just got to do that again. If he hits it, he hits it.
On a night like tonight, I agree. Where's it going to go?
Yeah, not going to go far, I don't think. Gee, rock two.
I'd have to say it's probably going to go right over our head.
Yeah.
50% of the balls have been right over our head tonight.
Full count. Again, as Weir short lead at first. Vaith holds him on. Toombs comes home. Foul.
There you go.
Straight back. And there's the train. Did you hear it? Slam.
Not a loud one.
No.
Might be some empty cars. Get a full car, a couple of full cars there, slapping together. We're shaking.
Ooh, that was a close one. So 2 walks in a row here to start the bottom of the third inning for the Yellow Jackets.
Back to the top of the lineup.
So now the Dragons, their Vaith is in the front on the grass. Another pitch is outside. Looks like the rest of the infielders are in double play depth.
Yeah, you start to think about maybe with nobody else, maybe a bunt situation.
Yeah.
But, you know, as a coach, maybe you're seeing a trend here of some walks that maybe you're going to kind of sit back and
make him
pitch. And now we have timeout here as Coach McDaniel is going to go out and talk to Drew a little bit with 2 balls and no strikes. So
yeah, he's not, like I said, he's not
time
wild.
to regroup.
He's just missing outside just a little bit. Maybe a simple thing, scoot him over on the rubber just a little bit.
And it could be you get through the first couple innings here. Just finding the groove, and now you get in the third inning where you might want to nitpick a little bit. Yeah. And, it's the ball's kind of coming out a little bit late to where it's just missing.
Yeah, I would expect this would probably be his last inning. I mean, if McDaniel stays, what we did the first game, with just giving about 3 innings with his pitchers, and especially if this one gets a little bit longer. So the Yellow Jackets have first and second. As Toombs comes home, fouls it out of play right behind us.
55%.
Maybe we need to put. I think I got some quarters.
Remember that day? Remember those days when I was younger? I'd come up here and make probably $2.30
on bets.
Not on bets.
Oh, I thought you were
chasing foul balls. Back in those days, you're only getting a dime.
I thought you were
a
like
dime
betting
a ball
people.
and getting 2. I tracked down,
the
a lot
next
of foul
hit will be
balls.
foul over our head for a quarter.
Oh,
there it is. I would have been a quarter richer.
we're not promoting
gambling. Yeah. So Toombs has got a 2-2 count here against Schwartz.
There's that curveball.
Yeah, got him off balance, but that's going to be a tough catch by. And here comes the right fielder. Good play by Brady. Call off Staffen as Staffen was running backwards. Brady had the better angle coming in from the outfield.
That's usually a tough play. Weather tonight, the outfielders are kind of in. Brady's in the right spot. Coming in and calls off for the catch.
Yeah, Brady has some speed. I saw the first, no, it wasn't the first game. Maybe it was a jamboree. He had a really good diving catch out in right field, and even though he's a freshman, he's pretty athletic. He's on the basketball team, can jump up and dunk a volleyball into a 10-foot basket. So as a freshman, he's got a lot of athleticism out there in right field. Toombs gets ahead. It's a strike on the first pitch, brings the second one, and that one's fouled off.
Foul ball.
Over to the right side.
Say if you're a left fielder tonight, you're getting pretty bored out there.
Get you a chair, have a seat, hot chocolate.
Derek Morgenthaler. Hit the ball to me.
We got Wyatt Lomander out there doing. Wyatt's out there doing jumping jacks. You just missed it.
Hit the ball.
Toombs comes to plate. Curveball again off balance. He's got it. He's got it working.
Drew's pitching that curveball, and it's somewhere close, and it's slow enough that they're just taking swings at it.
Yeah. Well, even if they hit it, just like the pop fly to right field, didn't get much on it.
That wasn't a very good ball. The swing at it was up inside, but it's slow enough that makes batters go, yeah.
Just blows that one by him. Strike 3. Yeah.
And then you come back with a high heater like that. Of course.
Tough to pick up on. So now we get 2 outs. So battling back here is Toombs.
Jordan Berner.
Starting with 2 walks to lead off the inning, and got a pop fly to right field to Brady Warrior, then struck out the next guy. He brings in a strike.
Back in the groove now.
Yeah, whatever.
Yellow jacket up, Berner, good sized boy, well over 6 feet.
This was the freshman senior, right?
Yes. Okay. Funny how you remember that stuff.
I don't remember a lot, but just the stupid stuff, I guess. That's what my wife says, I think. You don't remember any of the important stuff. You can have all these plays in your head, but you can't remember I told you what we were going to do.
Gotta have that humor in your head to get through life.
That one's a tad bit high.
Runners are going to move.
Yeah, just eat it.
2 outs, 2 strikes.
Yep. That's okay. Nobody hurt there as long as you.
With 2 strikes here, a lot of people are probably thinking, here comes that curveball.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to do like a reverse psychology
right
and just bring it right there.
Well, let's see what they do. Do they go with the normal or the reverse psychology? He winds up, and he went with the normal. Didn't get him to chase, though. That curveball was low and away. Most of these have been a little bit higher inside.
It's a good stop by Dalton Geezer there, saving a run. Ball in the dirt.
So we got lots of 2s on the board. 2-2 the count. 2 outs. Dragons winning 2-0. As he brings it home, pops it over our head. I think the crowd has thinned a little bit since the last inning and the rain picking up. Because even though, I mentioned how great it was covered, our stands, because of the way the rain is coming in, I think a lot of them are still getting hit.
I know I am.
Ooh, just a tad bit high now.
The way the rain's coming, just coming right on in at us.
Yeah.
I don't even think something over our head would help us
it wouldn't.
At this point. Everybody that's here is kind of on the second on up.
Strike 3 as Toombs sets him down. What a way to come back for Drew Toombs as he walks the first 2 batters and then pops out one and strikes out the other 2 to end the 3rd inning. So the Dragons lead 2-0 as they go into the top of the 4th.
That's a way to end that inning there. He came back after kind of struggling a little bit, 2 walks, and
more of the crowd is leaving.
Boy, they're scattering.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're heading for higher elevation to get out of the blowing rain. As my sniffles continue.
I know, it's getting worse here.
I'm almost kind of giving up keeping score as I'm writing on
It's
a wet book.
paper, yeah. There's not. I don't think there's one. Oh wait, there's one dry spot. Nope, maybe not.
No more.
Nope.
As we were talking before the game with our coverage for St. Genevieve baseball, we really don't have any sponsors for this. And if anybody is out there interested in having some sponsorship notifications on during a broadcast, I guess they can contact Jeff Nix up at school.
Yeah, I don't know what they would do for the sponsors. I mean, we have them. We had them for football that went over the boards. Basketball, they had them on the boards. So I don't know if they would continue those kind of on air here, or you know, they used to have sponsors when this was by the Yanks, sponsors on the outside fence, but not anymore. We do have some other scores from around the area. Some have to do with this tournament, some don't. We have SLU beat Farmington 12-0. Potosi and Owensville was postponed. In the tournament itself, Jefferson beats West County 8-7. DeSoto beat West County 8-0. Scott City, we know, beat St. Genevieve 3-2. Valley Catholic beat Father Tolton 10-0. Valley Catholic beat St. Louis Patriots 8-7. In the Eminence Wood Bat tournament, Bismarck beat South Iron 12-0. Plato beat Bismarck 10-0. So just some area scores.
I know the St. Louis Patriot team is being coached by Mark Valley. He's a St. Genevieve native. I actually had the pleasure to coach him during some Babe Ruth time back in the day.
Babe Ruth time.
Fired the ball pretty well.
So Mitchell still on the mound, the lefty for the Yellow Jackets, as he's coming to Drew Toombs.
3-0, I would think we're taking.
Yeah, I would think so. I don't, probably shouldn't even have to be told to do that. But, you know, there is that player or two that'll have that 3-0 count and swing away if you don't.
I got a wonderful story to talk about a 3-0 count in softball here in a bit.
Toombs swings and misses at strike two, so full count.
And we're still debating, me and the North County coach, Coach Elam. We were playing a JV game at Farmington, and there was a 3-0 count.
Toombs fouls that one off.
And, you know, a 3-0 count, you would think it's automatic, don't swing. So, you know, but we remind the players, you know, don't swing, and we all have our own little signals for it. Well, sure enough, 3-0, here comes the pitch. Swing. Misses. Oh, we're upset, you know.
Mitchell brings it to Toombs, ball four.
So you can imagine there's a talk about, you know, that.
Mm-hmm.
Same game. Comes up again, different
I'm
player.
feeling some frustration.
Yes. Different player. 3-0 count. The North County coach is pretty vocal now. Don't swing. Do not swing. Next pitch. Swing and miss. Oh, you can see the head drop. And
what do you do? I mean,
well, we kind of talked about this. And we don't know if it's legal, but I kind of told Coach Elam, if, you know, the next time you get in that situation, maybe time out.
Go take the bat.
Go take the bat out of their hand and said, okay, now try to hit.
Yeah. We have Camden Rose replace Toombs, and we got a bunt by Vaith. Puts it down, pitcher turns. Mitchell gets the run at first, but he moves Rowe over to second. Again, Rowe was pinch running for Toombs as Toombs walked. And Vaith does a good job of getting the sacrifice bunt down to move the runner over. And in this type of game, if you can get that third run, that's probably a big run out there.
Definitely. And again, coming back to my thinking, nobody out.
Yeah.
Middle of the game, you're up. Sure, put some pressure on, bunt the ball. Now you're just hoping for another big hit here.
Brady Boyer to bat. He
looked a
takes
little low.
Strike one, yeah. Tad
Little
bit low.
Raindrops getting in the vision of the umpire.
as a freshman, you wonder, is he going to be able to handle, stay calm, can't do much about the bad call. Maybe a make-up pitch there that looked better than the last one.
Yeah, pitcher kind of looks in long. And, that's something that's high school athletes, you have to deal with that. You got an umpire out there for anything
Nice.
base hit.
Past the third baseman. Camden is going to stop at third, and Boyer rounds first and comes back. Good piece of hitting for the freshman Brady Boyer, as we now have first and third for the Dragons as Derek Morgenthaler comes to bat. He bats on the left side. Again, had a ground ball to the shortstop last time at bat. 2 hits in the first game. Could really use one here.
This is an interesting situation. First and third, 1 out. Put a steal play on. Defense has got to think about who's going to cover, what's going to happen. A lot of possibilities.
Now in softball, do they have the same we could throw down, we could do the cutoff as the shortstop coming in, throw back to the pitcher, throw to the third baseman.
Definitely.
Have
Several
all those
different
options.
plays. And you almost got to look at the base runners involved in the game situation at hand, because every situation is different in that perspective. Just with those variables.
So you're the Yellow Jackets, Orange Jackets, or do you, you're down 2, so you probably don't want to give up the run at third. So you probably play more conservative, and almost give the guy second base. I mean, you may try something sneaky, but you're definitely not going to throw down.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah. I think this young in the season, I don't think you want to concede anything. Try to throw one down.
Oh.
And it's,
And there it gets away.
Same thing as, St. Genevieve here. Young season, you're putting some pressure on. It's a rainy night. Defense is shaky, and the pitching's shaking. Let's put some pressure on. Things worked out here as the ball gets by, and you got second and third with 1 out, and now it's pretty simple. You just hit.
Put the ball in play. Looks like the Yellow Jackets are going to bring the infield in to stop the runner from going home on any ground ball.
And again, this is a different situation this type in the game. A while ago, they decided not to do this type of defense, and now they are.
That is correct. And he takes ball 4, so now we have bases loaded, no outs. Incoming in Selby, who had, if I believe, a double last
double
time.
down the right field.
Yeah.
You got to wonder how long Yellow Jackets are
Going to leave
going to
Mitchell.
let Mitchell out there. I keep looking down at their bullpen. It's empty. Maybe nobody wants to get wet.
And there's a ground ball to third. He's going to go home to get the lead runner, and it gets by. Camden Rowe will cross as we have an E on the third baseman, I would say, on the bad throw.
Yep. Again, put the ball in play.
Yeah. Good point.
Ball's wet.
Happen.
And really, there hasn't been too many balls hit to the left side of the field. All of a sudden, oh my gosh, I got a ball hit to me.
Yeah. Always, I wasn't big into baseball. I played, and that was probably my biggest complaint because as a player, because I was a guy that liked action. So you stand out there, and you may not get 1 ball hit to you in 3 innings if you're lucky. But then they expect you to be ready and make the perfect throw, and what it's like.
Well, we were just talking about Morgan Thayer out in left field. He hasn't had a ball hit to him the whole night.
Yeah.
You get into a pressure situation, all of a sudden you get a ball hit to you. He did make the play.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at that, it's a positive. He made the play, and he went to the right base.
Did everything
Just
right, but
didn't come out of his hand right.
That's the thing about baseball.
And I guess if I was Coach McDaniel, I'd probably go take the bat out of Wyatt's hand right now.
Yeah,
huh?
because, I don't know. I mean, Wyatt's got some good pop on him. Do you have anybody, let me ask you, do you have anybody that you've ever said you have the green light?
Definitely. Erica Burney a few years back, I'd let her hit.
Yeah.
Ashley Viox this last year, I'd let her hit. when she's seeing the ball well. When somebody's seeing the ball well, sure.
I mean, I know Mitchell's been wild, so you don't want to.
And again, you got to think about the type of player. I mean, would you just let anybody? I mean, they got to understand what they can hit. I mean, you're not just going up there thinking, okay, I'm going to jack this one here 400 feet and everything's great.
And he takes ball 4. That'll walk in a run as Brady Boyer gets to trot easily in to score. And he'll touch it twice for good measure.
I think that's going to be it for Mitchell. As
number 66.
66.
Wow.
Lineman coming in.
You make my
Dalton Corrado. I heard that name a while ago, Corrado. 6'6". Is that why he's 66?
I don't know. I don't think he's. I mean, we're at a bad angle up here. He looks like a decent-sized kid, but I don't know if
he looks a lot bigger than Hank Kinsey out there. I can tell you that.
Can we get Hank over here and give a measurement? Compared to you, how big is that kid?
You know, my kids used to say on days like this they'd hate to be a cow.
Standing out
and
the field.
I guess on nights like this, hate to be a broadcaster just sitting out in the rain. And
I know. Where's the booth at? Or you got the heater, AC, and the refreshments brought to you. And where's Dr. Lindsay? Call him up.
I'm sure he's listening to a warm, toasty environment right now.
Can we get this enclosed?
Probably drinking something different than a Mountain Dew.
A glass enclosure around this? No.
My Mountain Dew is kind of watered down.
How much rain you got in it? It's been sitting out.
Half-inch of rain on top. And people are still trying to get up higher.
Well, some people leave. The other ones move up.
Well, they're probably in their vehicle watching and listening to us.
I wonder if there's some people that dislike the right side. Now that you mentioned that, they took away parking places where the batting cage is going to be, and a lot of people used to pull up there and tailgate.
I observed that a while ago, and before that is being constructed last year and the years prior to this, there's a group of people that would just pull up right there and just watch, or back up and just sit on their tailgates to just watch. That's not going to happen this year, and you got to think, things like that. And
there's a shot in the
right
field gap. That's going to get by the right fielder. Center fielder comes to cut it off, and that's Staffen. He's going to dig into second, and he's got himself a two RBI double. Grant Staffen. He drives one into right center.
Nice piece of hit.
That brings, Selby and Morgenthaler home. So the freshmen are doing a lot of good things. You've had Boyer, base hit, and he scores a run. Morgenthaler's coming around. And now Staffen with a double. So the Dragons are coming alive as they now lead 6-0 here in the top of the 4th. Well, how about this? Since we're asking for things, we want this enclosed. We talked about this hill up here. Could they pave like a road where everybody could just park their trucks up and sit on tailgates to the top of the hill?
That would definitely be wild. There's a ball got through the right field side. Bobbled a little bit by the right fielder. Staffen's coming in easily to score. 7-0 Dragons. Oh, we're lighting it up now. Everybody's jumping on that train. When we played softball, we always had some kind of a, thing that if somebody reached base, whether it's, somebody's jumping on the bus, the school bus, or, they toot their horn going, whoop, whoop,
That was Dalton Giesler who had that's his second, am I not mistaken, his second 2 RBI single, I believe.
Well, you got a better memory than me. I keep looking down and I see wet papers.
I'm pretty sure he got the first 2 runs.
I think you're right.
Timms, can you remember that? How about, can we go back on the camera? No? Anybody keeping score at home? Let us know if that's
Let us
right.
know.
Does Dalton Giesler have
text us in.
2 RBI singles?
Could be a hot dog in it for you in reservation, along with Mary Kay's.
So, you know,
Waylon Kemper.
your wife
no.
is listening. My wife isn't because she's texting me what is the score. It is 8-0 Dragons.
I don't know. My wife just texted me a while ago and says, "You guys remind me of the movie Major League."
Hey, that's what we were going for, right? At the beginning when we first got on here.
They had their own sound effects in that, you know,
yeah.
because nobody was watching or nobody was listening.
Mitchell Hufstetter is back on running on first for Dalton Giesler. He's a pinch runner. Drew Toombs at the plate.
He was ready to load on that one.
He takes
You know, the Yellow Jackets have kind of been out in the field for a while. I think they're getting a little soggy and saggy out there.
Yeah, they're way above the catcher's head there.
Well, throwing down.
Oh, the catcher got a good bounce off the fence, but Hufstetter must have had a slow takeoff. Maybe not a very good jump because that was closer than it should have been.
For a pass ball like that.
So now we got a runner on second.
Test your baseball IQ here on the difference between a pass ball and a wild pitch.
A pass ball and a wild pitch. Well, I think I've got that. I may not be technically, but a passed ball is when the catcher misses it. So I was wrong when I said it was a pass ball. The wild pitch is from the pitcher. So
That's
that
right.
last one, it was a wild pitch because the pitcher threw it way over his head.
Very good. Very good. I could test each other here during these things.
Yeah, I don't know if I could get anything by you.
I don't know.
Who's on first?
It's exactly right. Whatever.
I don't really know that, so I just know that one. Who's?
I can watch that video.
Yeah.
Oh, probably for about 2 or 3 minutes.
Hufstetter's got a lead off second. Pitcher brings home high and inside at Toombs as he ducks away. And that'll bring the count to full. We got 2 outs, full count. Corando comes set, throws, tad bit high, ball 4.
You
Toombs.
can tell that he's kind of cradling the ball when he throws in.
Well,
you know, it could be because it's wet. He's just not sure of his grip on the ball.
Yeah, I thought his arm action looked a little bit different, not normal. So Camden Rowe will come to pinch run again for Toombs at first base. So Hufstetter on second, Rowe on first, and Vaith swings at that first pitch, tips it off, back to the net. We have, in this first set of bleachers, it was full. And now we're down to 4 or 5, I can't see.
The faithful.
The faithful. As Vaith looks at strike 2.
You know, what else is there to do? It's a Friday night.
I mean,
sleep. Watching NCAA basketball. How's your bracket looking, Rob?
well, probably like everybody else's.
Mine was looking really well.
Bad.
Really good until
Michigan State. But everybody, you gotta think everybody has that.
I'm sure there's somebody out there that's going to claim
pick 'em.
that they picked.
I tell you what, if they did it in the first round, then just give them the money, whatever they're in, because they.
Yeah, it's hard to go against Tom Izzo. I picked them just because of him.
I do too. I think I like his defense. Is usually really good. He's always been someone I've enjoyed watching his teams. But I don't know. I was in the one I'm in, of course. Drum's running it, and he's winning it. I don't know how that works.
Well, when you put in 50 sheets,
yeah.
You're probably going to hit
I only do one as Vaith fouls that one off back to the screen.
I seen he tries to disguise it because he's got Dennis Drum 1, 2, and then he's got dancing drums and beating drums and different nicknames. So
Oh, West Virginia lost 2. I just checked that.
Well, there goes my Final
Holy
Four.
cow. Your Final Four? You had them
I had
in the final?
3 of them in the Final Four. California, West Virginia, and who were we just talking about?
Michigan State.
Michigan State.
I still have 3 left. Oklahoma,
I got Oklahoma winning it all.
North Carolina, Duke, and I had Michigan State. As
Nice.
Faith looks at strike 3, and that'll be 3 outs for the Dragons, but not before they score some more runs, as they've gotten a few hits from a couple of guys scoring 4 runs this inning. So the Dragons lead 8-0 as we go into the bottom of the 4th, as the Yellow Jackets will come to bat. We will see if Drew Toombs will continue on the mound, as he had a little bit of a long 3rd inning. And it looks like he is, as Coach McDaniel's warming the ball, sends him back out there. So another inning. Hopefully he can make this a quick one like he did his 2nd inning. The rain still coming down sideways at us, in our face.
So, Rob, do you have any? We've already been compared to Major League, and do you have any any impersonations of people that you can sound like while doing this broadcast?
I'm not a very good.
Like a Harry
impressions.
Carey or
No,
something like that?
I wouldn't even
Holy
try.
cow!
No. I did have Greg Allen from KFMO Sports texted me and just said, I'm hearing Robbie Coleman on color. And, so now I'm really nervous because, Greg, I'm sure, is critiquing everything I'm doing here, since that's what he's
Gotta like
does
those,
for a living, amazing at.
Gotta love those Gregs.
We'll see what he has to say. Hopefully, take some notes for me, Greg. Let me know what I can improve on.
And don't ask us for a long interview.
Yeah.
We'll
just wait till we get Coach
we'll stick to our
McDaniel
job.
up here. We can get him. Actually, let's get Coach Gibson up here. That'll be more exciting.
I agree.
So, Coach, how tired are you from walking from that dugout all the way across to first base?
I'm sure he'll have something interesting for us.
All right, so Yellow Jackets come to bat here in the bottom of the 4th. Toombs still on the mound to wind up the pitch. And it's another foul ball off to the right side. And that could get a car. Ooh, it did. And I think people are in that car. Their lights are on. There's a lot of people in their cars over there. They didn't leave. They're watching it from the parking lot.
We got something going then.
Another foul tip here as my roster's soaking wet, and it's number 13, Luke Hartman, senior, up to bat, as he's now 0-2. Steps in, digs in the turf. Toombs comes set. A windup, the pitch. And he drives that one down left field, and it could.
That's coming back.
Fair
It came
ball.
back.
He didn't think it was going to be, so he stood in the batter's box until it hit the ground. So he'll only get a double out of that as Hartman. Hartman, that's from Major League, but he's the big batter, isn't he? Isn't it
was.
Hartman?
Hartman, the catcher.
Yeah.
Had that
the
stare.
yeah. So
Traded him.
Hartman lines one down the left field line for a double.
He had that little shimmy.
Yeah, the
drove all
yeah.
the girls' wall. No, Hartman, he hit the ball, pulled it, yanked it, but it came back.
Yeah, I have to
And
agree.
really, Morgenthaler thought it was going to be well foul. Gave up on it, and the ball hit maybe an inch or two inside the line.
So the Yellow Jackets got something going here, and the bottom of the 4th, as they're the home team. As Hartman is on second, up to bat is Corando as he takes ball 1. And Toombs is the pitch, strike as Corando whiffs.
Some action in the Dragon bullpen
Tad bit outside.
as we're in the the top of the 4th here. Get somebody in here,
he's
maybe
over there.
to close the game a little bit.
He's over there using some bands to warm up with before he starts throwing. Can't tell who it is. Is that Brewster? Did I see 28? Jake Brewster.
28.
warming up. So we got a 3-1 count as Toombs comes to the plate and watches it tad bit outside. It's ball 4. So Corando goes to first, and so now the Yellow Jackets have first and second. No outs.
Well, you got to be thinking here, how long are we going to go here? I mean, you got an 8-run lead, but you really don't want to let anybody get back into the game with a big hit and a big inning. Have yourself a ball game here. Let's hope that Drew can find it. And how about a double play?
Batting now is junior, number 22, Matt Smith, as he is down in the count 0-2. So he whiffs on that second pitch, pulled his head out. Infield, double play depth, yep, with an 8-run lead, and looks at that one a tad bit high and outside.
I think on a night like tonight, you get a double play. That's a real accomplishment.
Well, we had one earlier by the Yellow Jackets. Strike 3 as Toombs blows that one by number 22, Smith. So that's one out. Big out for Toombs there. So now the double play could end the inning. And we did have one. The Yellow Jackets had the nice double play earlier in the game with that little back flip by the second baseman. Toombs comes home again, and that one's in the dirt, in the turf. Number 27, Eggenmeyer, Blake Eggenmeyer, senior.
Back to the bottom of the lineup here.
Tad bit high.
Pound the strike zone here.
Just go after him.
Go after him. You're probably in pretty good shape. Morgan Thaler looks to be plenty deep out in left field after that long hit.
There's a shot right back at Toombs. Catches it, and almost doubles him up. Good reaction by Toombs as the line drive right back, kind of behind him. So as he followed through, had to turn back quickly to catch it. Did a great job to make the catch. And I don't know if Henson would have caught that, he'd been out anyway. He looked like he was probably going to be safe.
It's going to be one of those close calls right there. And again, you know, throwing the ball seems to be a problem when you field it.
Yeah. So 2 outs, first and second for the Yellow Jackets now. As that's a ground ball, short, in between pitcher and first. Toombs slides, tosses, a nice catch by Vaith.
And that's the ball game.
And that's the ball game. They called ball game. Out of 4 innings.
Hank Kinsey says that's the ball game.
That's the ball game as the Dragons win 8-0. Nice play there to end the game as Toombs, slow roller between first and the pitcher's mound. He slides and tosses, and then Vaith with a nice catch because the toss was a little high. So what a way to end the game. The Dragons win 8-0 in their second game of the tournament. So not sure if we know exactly when they'll play tomorrow. But so they went 1-1. The Yellow Jackets, they won their first game. No, they lost. So they're 0-2. And then the Scott City Rams were 1-1. So
2-0.
2-0. Man, I'm getting them all messed up. The Rams will then be in the gold division. We will be in the silver division. So not sure where that is or who we will play. You know, probably will be here since we are in it. Okay, so Valley won both, so the gold division will be at Valley. The silver division will be here, and then the other 2 divisions will be at Jefferson R7 or Perryville. So we do not know yet when we will play. Maybe if we can get Mr. Nix up here at some point, or Mr. McDaniel may be able to tell us. He probably knows off the top of his head, or Mr. Toombs may go find him. So. We'll find out when they play tomorrow.
First win of the season for St. Genevieve.
Yes. It's always good to get that first one.
It is.
You know, especially after the first game being such a close one and not being able to pull it out.
On a night like tonight, everything's kind of late. You got a wet, cold night. They still, you know, later on in the game, they started squaring up on the ball quite a bit and got a couple of big hits. Grant Staffen with a double to drive in some runs. Dalton Giesler putting the ball in play to score some runs. So your top of the order really contributing to score some runs for the Dragons to put it together. And again, a great effort by Drew Toombs pitching.
Yeah.
We had a couple of shaky innings right there where, things kind of got away, but he really regrouped and closed it out.
Yeah, the last 2 innings, the third and the fourth inning, he actually had, I think, 2 walks both innings, or at least I know both the 2 first batters got on base in both innings, and then both times was able to shut down the next 3 batters. So it's good. Again, and in that second inning, he had a real quick inning as he went 1, 2, 3. And I think that the Dragons will be looking forward to Drew having a lot of success in the pitching, hopefully. He's going to be a big part of it. Wyatt Lamondier himself, Vaith pitched already today. We've seen Brewster warming up. Again, it's early, not sure, how many pitchers or who all Coach McDaniel has to use, but and it's great, like you said, the hits, because I think if there's one thing that they're a little skeptical about is the offense, I think, coming into the season.
Definitely.
Especially with so many young guys being in the lineup. You just don't know how they're going to handle. Really, I mean, there's no middle school baseball, but coming from, your River Dogs or your traveling baseball to the high school level, and really any sport, that's a big jump for a freshman to do that.
And you mentioned the younger players and all, and for them to step up their game here and everybody contribute, hopefully it'll carry on for them till tomorrow and the rest of the year.
Just found out we do host the Silver, and not sure anything except for us and the St. Louis Patriots are in the Silver division so far. So still not, still don't have the third team yet finalized. So, well,
Rob, I don't know about you, but I'd like to get out of the rain, and
yeah,
this was fun. I enjoyed it. I was a little nervous going in, and I'd love to do it again.
I would too. It's great. I hope the next time we can stand here in shorts and not get rained on or be too cold. I think my feet are wet and almost frozen, and my jacket. So, but hey, it was enjoyable, and it's good to see the Dragons come out on top. I don't know if we'll stick around, and no, we're not going to stick around and try to talk to Coach McDaniel. But I do want to mention one thing that I know Coach Gibson mentioned. I'm sure the players are happy. We don't have to stick around for another 40 minutes and fix the field with all the turf.
Oh, absolutely.
So I guess they'll probably drag a little bit of certain spots just to move the rubber around, I would guess.
And that they would
or brush.
throw the black pellets back in the heavy traffic areas, which would be the pitcher mound, the batter's box, and kind of brush some of those things. And what we call fluffing the field.
So
you got to fluff that turf up a little bit.
Other than that, they don't have to tarp it. They don't have to do any of that. So
actually, it's ready to go for tomorrow.
Ready to go for tomorrow. All right. Well, appreciate everybody that listened tonight, and we hope that we might bring the games tomorrow. And if you're not able to come out and actually support in person, please follow us online. So have a great night.